Well, we're coming to the end of Paul's list. 16 different ways in which he says he commends himself to the Corinthian church. You can find it in 2 Corinthians chapter 6. And we're going to go over the last part of the list today. We're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to read to you the last 6 things that he says and then make a few general comments. And so Paul, as he commends himself, he says, we are known, yet regarded as unknown. Dying, yet we live on. Beaten, yet we're not killed. Sorrowful, yet we're always rejoicing. Poor, yet making many rich. Having nothing, yet possessing everything. And did you notice how the list kind of goes back and forth between a negative and a positive? Poor, yet making many rich. Having nothing, yet possessing everything. There's a few comments that I want to make about it because it's critical to our journey to helping people on the journey to discovering and fully following Jesus. And the first thing is just to notice the upside down nature of the kingdom. Last week I talked about how in the kingdom of God, losing is winning. And this is another emphasis of that. You know, we die, but we live on. We're beaten, yet we're not killed. It's like the way you thought it was going to work out didn't work out to be that way. And God turns what seems to be for evil into good. And it's the journey of a lifetime to discover all the ways in which he does that. So that's just something to remember in ministry. It's upside down from the way the world thinks. It's upside down from the way you want things to turn out sometimes. The second thing that I want to just mention, I'm reminded of a speech I listened to from author John Maxwell a few years ago. Some of you have probably read some of John's books, and he's a great leadership author, and he said this, he said, everything worthwhile is uphill. And John had a great way of doing that. He put his arms kind of like this. Everything worth doing is uphill. And it was a great visual illustration. He says, when you want to do something worthwhile, something great, it's uphill. It takes effort. It takes supreme effort. It takes difficulty. It takes going through hard times. And that, I think, Paul is being reminded to say, I love you that much that I'm willing to undergo that kind of difficulty for you on the way to commending myself to you, on the way to planting a church among you, on the way to helping you to discover and fully follow Jesus. And thirdly, what I'd point out about Paul's list is that we have to do in ministry what Paul does here. He constantly resets the broken bones of perspective, and he says, yeah, we were beaten. Yeah, we went through some difficulties, but we were able to find what God was doing in it. We're still living. We're still going. The ministry is still pressing on, and we reset the broken bones of perspective. And you know, friends, sometimes it's hard to do that on your own. And if you find, I just can't find perspective in the situation that I'm in, you might need help. And I've talked about in our columns before, I've talked about collecting people that help give you perspective in your life. I've talked about my personal board of directors, a few people that give me perspective when I need it. And if you need perspective right now, it's time to reach out to one of your personal friends and say, can you just help give me some perspective on my situation? I don't even know what's going on. This seems like it's not working out well. Help me gain some perspective, because the art of being a follower of Jesus is constantly resetting the broken bones of perspective. And finally, I just want to point out at the end of Paul's list of 16 things that when you are willing to go that far for people, when you're willing to undergo that kind of difficulty for people, when you're willing to stay in relationship that long with people, you know what's going to happen? They're going to beat a path to your door. You are going to have people who want to be around you, because we all want to be around people who are willing to go that far for us in relationship. And, you know, Lakeside, we give messages, we do series, and right now we're just winding up this series on being open and being in community. And you can say, well, that was great. What's the next series? But don't rush on too quickly. Be reminded, this is real. We are trying to build a kind of community where people recognize those are followers of Jesus. Those are people who will go far for you. And it's a community worth being a part of. So friends, great to speak with you. Appreciate you very much. Have a great day.